Welcome back to the Unleashing. I'm your host, Jared Beeler. I figured that I would do a Ukraine update conversation here, and I kind of been wanting to do it for a few days, but I've been watching how things are going. Obviously, I've been paying attention and seeing everything, and you guys know where I stand on this. I already told you a few videos ago that they have to do World War III because of the stuff that's taking place, and because people are catching on, and they need to switch what the focus is on, right? So, anyways, we knew this was going to happen, and I've only been expecting it for 8 years. Is this going to roll over to World War III? Most definitely. And it has to. Once somebody releases a nuke, it's going to be cats out of the bag situation, and once it's done, then there's going to be no reason to hold back. Somebody else is going to want to use one, then the next guy is going to want to use their bigger and faster one. And like you guys have heard in the past, and I've talked about it, when the destruction of America happens, like the East Coast is taken in 17 seconds or something like that, just unbelievably fast. All the major cities totally vaporized. Do we go before that? I believe so. People won't be going around daily business once nukes are flying. My point is the wedding that you have planned in Central Park would be more like we're getting married in the crater in Central Park, all right? That's not going to be daily business. And many people have seen that we go up around the same time missiles and stuff are coming down, including that kid that I talked about before that talks about after World War III, we get into a war with aliens and stuff, right? Who is in heaven. And all his stories seems to be checking out future implications with what military forces and stuff that already have it planned or have been talking about recently on the timeline of how long it takes and stuff like that. It matches up perfectly. And he said that it had already happened. People were taken before that time had happened. So it's getting very, very close. And this is obviously very exciting because, it means we're right there in the threshold. I told you guys last year on May 13th, and it was no accident at all. I don't always understand his timing, why he says things the way that he does. He told me in 2014 when I was sitting at the table with him, I asked him, well, when's Gog and Magog happening? He told me he was happening right now. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And found out that in 2015, a year later after he told me that in 2013 they found that huge oil find in Golan Heights that they've been keeping a secret. And now Russia, Syria, all those other places have been wanting to get their hands on it, as well as some of the other resources and stuff in Israel, which is only prompting the Gog and Magog attack and the hook in the jaw that's pulling them down in there. And now you guys have seen with the attack of Ukraine at the same time that one of the military officials out of Russia told Israel what they were doing in Golan's wrong, and it belonged to Bashar al-Assad in Syria. So they're already getting the staging point for it, and when they take Ukraine, and they're going to be even that much closer to the doorstep of it for resources and everything else, and naval fleet and stuff like that. And they're moving very fast. I just saw today that when the attack happened, they took out the entire Ukrainian naval fleet in 40 minutes. So, I mean, it happened really fast. And, ours might even go faster. The plan out of China has been that they're going to lure America in, military forces, naval fleet and stuff like that, into Taiwan when they do the attack on them. And then at the loss of their own casualties, because they don't care because they have so many, they're just going to nuke the whole area and destroy the American fleet. And so, I mean, that's going to be catastrophic, too. And, of course, all these things will take place. They're going to happen. That's pretty amazing, too, because we see it getting so close right now, and it's literally knocking on the door. Russia and China have been teamed up for a long time, and they're doing this. And as well as the forces inside of our own government, which know this stuff. Remember, the things that are taking place have to go into a stepping process for those that don't know and are working in the same military under that, because not everybody's working for the forces of darkness, and you have to leave the trail of why these things happen, what caused this to happen. For instance, Russia, we're threatening with sanctions and stuff like that, and doing them at the same time, threatening to hack their electric grid and crash everything over there, right? And messing with their train control pads and stuff like that for bringing in more supplies. Well, the process of that, it gives a great excuse for Russia to use what is known in WW3 Prophecies and other stuff, the weapon of indignation that's used against America. As you guys know, or I've said before, Russia has a super AMP that they have on standby. It's like on a hypersonic missile. It's like even more power than a regular one. So I mean, they can shoot it over America or whatever else and just kill the whole grid. And this, I believe, happens right before they do the attack and stuff like that. So I mean, it's very, very close. And if we're threatening Russia with doing that kind of stuff, the implications of them attacking right back leaves that breadcrumb that I'm talking about, where people are like, well, this happened because of this. Well, no, it's already been planned to happen. They said what they're going to do. And remember, the bad guys, the Biden administration and Obama and all them, well, they already know, and they're bringing down America. They have to subdue it, and they have to get it under control, because America's, like I've said before, Babylon, and also the bastion of hope that people expect to stop things and stuff like that. But we can clearly see right now we're not at the top of the field anymore, and Russia seems to be calling the shots, and China will be too, and they're going to give power and stuff to the beast system when it happens. I think a lot of drawing naval fleet and stuff like that over into these other places as well is that you can commandeer those resources that they're going to need. So you're going to blow up a lot of stuff, right, during the start of World War III and everything like that. But when you roll over to the New World system, you don't have all the resources and ships and stuff that you built, because you only have 7 years to be destroyed. So you're going to have some of that stuff that's over there out of harm's way. And when the country is destroyed, like for instance America, then you can basically surrender those ships, and then they can be commandeered and used for other resources that will go right into the New World Order and the UN and all the resources and stuff that they're going to use to control the world. So that's something to think about too. But it's very close, and we saw at the same time China's been flying around over in Taiwan and stuff like that. I mean, they're getting ready to make their moves. When does Gog and Magog happen? That's a good question, and I mean, it's open for some speculation, but they burn the weapons and stuff. It says in the Bible for 7 years, so always thought it would be right before, right at the start of the tribulation when it happens. I know that God comes in and defends Israel, and there's no denying it. And that's very interesting, because that's the same time when the tribulation starts that God comes back and starts to work on Israel to bring them into the fulfillment and stuff like that, where he takes care of them and shows them his power and stuff like that. So that kind of makes me think it happens right at the beginning of it, or right before it, but it's going to be right around that time, and it's getting very close right now to that all happening. I don't believe that it's going to be that much longer. So when will it occur? Like I say, I don't always understand what he says, but I know when he talks. And remember, guys, I don't lie. If I was going to fake something like that, I've had a couple of years to be like, oh, God said this and God said that. Now he told me on September 13th, 2019, almost time, and I literally made a video that YouTube took down. It's up on Rumble, that I hadn't heard from him on the subject for 2 years, and literally after they took that video down that next morning is when we talked for like an hour or so, and he told me it's most definitely this year. And then before I said, oh man, that's amazing, you answered me before I even got it out of my mouth. I'm like, how soon are we talking about? Before I could get that out, he said it's sooner than you think. So will it wrap all the way around to a year's time at May 13th, or will it happen sooner? We've been looking at a year's time. What's the calculation from that? What was he referencing at that time? And of course, it opens up the door for many, many things, so you can never lock it down, which is how God works on so many occasions. You think you got it, but you don't. And I never asked for a day or an hour. I just asked if it was this year. And he said it's most definitely this year. So obviously it wasn't the Gregorian calendar that we're looking at, but like I say, April 2nd would be the Jewish one that's in the spring, or he could be referring to a full year from that time. I just don't know yet. Like I say, I didn't know in 2014 what he was talking about, and only found out a year later that something had already been taking place a year prior to when he told me that. So how God does that, it's his alone, really. I can't lock it down, but I believe what he said, and I know it's getting close, and obviously if you guys are paying attention, you can see that it's getting very close. This stuff's ramping up very quickly, and the attacks and stuff like that have happened over there, I mean, they're moving right along with it. It's not, they're not messing around. They're not doing the American stuff where they go in there and just stay around. They're going in, taking over, taking control, and getting Ukraine. So like I say, it's happening right on the spot. And all this stuff is going to lead into World War III. NATO and everybody like that, they're already sending in troops, surrounding them and stuff like that. I mean, it's just opening the door. But while we're pulling resources in one way, it's also opening up the door in other ways like that. And I think the main goal that they have planned is not Ukraine or anything like that. They're playing chess moves here. If anybody's played chess before, if you get really good with the knight or the horses, you can start to play attack and defense at the same time. You're literally doing two moves at once by positioning in different places. And those that are good at chess, I've watched them play with knights before, and it's incredible. Well, these moves are along the same lines. Not only are they doing attacks and stuff, but they're a defense at the same time and putting into position the openings for what they want. They want America out of the way. They got to get it out of the way, and they will do it. Russia hits the East Coast and China hits the West Coast, all right? And they're going to get the resources and stuff they want over here and subdue America. America goes third world country in a matter of moments, okay? But those that have seen it, they see it become a police martial state, like extremely fast, like Ken Peters and stuff like that had their vision. And by this time, the tribulation has already started. It's literally right at the doorstep. It's so close. And obviously, those that are looking, it's very exciting, especially to see it unfold. And I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 8 years now. And it's been like, oh man, talk about drag on. I've already expected all this stuff so long ago. So this is like, it's not shocking at all. It's just like, well, finally, because I've already expected it and it just hadn't gone down yet. So now it seems like it's the time, and it's really exciting because it's something I've been waiting for my entire life, and we're just about to get out of here. You can feel the presence of God getting closer and closer as this world's getting worse and worse. And like I said, they already pulled the trigger on the event, and they have to make this move. They have to do it. There's no stepping back now. There's no holding off, because if they did and half the population just starts croaking, there's going to be a problem, and they're going to want to know why and stuff like that, especially when every country is involved with that situation. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take your eyes off of it. Interesting enough, I saw that the sun has been picking up. It's about to flip, or it did just flip into its grand scale or whatever. It goes through 11-year cycles where it flips, and now it's going to go into the hard mode or whatever. And the timing of that's very interesting too, because it's picking up and they're saying that it might be hitting historic levels. Well, I know this is being affected by that planet system that's coming through, and I've seen people try and post pictures and stuff like that. You haven't seen it yet. It's not that close, and if it was, the Earth would be absolutely reeling to and fro, and we'd be having worldwide earthquakes if it's that close. So no, none of those pictures and stuff are real, but it does come in very fast, and it'll be in and out when it gets here. It gets faster the closer it gets to us when it whips around through our solar system, and that's of course what caused the flood, the destruction of what is now the asteroid belt and stuff like that. And it is mentioned in the Bible and the trumpet judgments and stuff like that, and why men flee underground and things like that. It's going to change the world, but that's going to be stuff that happens in the tribulation. But its effects as it's approaching messes with earthquakes, volcanoes, sun activity, more solar flares and stuff like that, and that's all the stuff that we see happening right now, and it's only been picking up. So the stories are real. It really does come through. Obviously, they're real. We can see the damage looking at the moon and other things like that, knowing that like the whole northern crust of Mars has been blasted into outer space, and it used to be filled with oceans and stuff. It doesn't go back billions of years. Gap theory is a total lie. Like I've told you before, it really did happen in 6,000 years. Can time be looked back into? Interesting enough, it can, because God folded out time from the center, so it goes both different directions. I've told you guys that too. So anyways, very interesting. We're watching it all pick up, and it's like right there at that right time. And like you say, since the trigger's already pulled and now they're doing this, and this is the implications for World War III, this is all the stuff that we're looking for. It's not a dream. It's not a myth. It really is happening at the very moment that we're talking about. That's exciting to see it unfold like this. For the world that's terrified and doesn't know what's going to happen next, obviously it's a scary thing. For Christians that already are in God's hand and you can feel them and you've been waiting your whole life to get out of here, nothing is sweeter than the sound or the thought of that, and to see it actually happening and taking place, knowing that we're literally what could be days away now. It's incredible, and there's no fear at all. It's only like pure bliss, honestly. So, for us it's exciting. For the world it's not. It's all we can do is continue to leave messages and hope for people that don't know the Lord, because there's nothing changing or stopping this train now that it's going. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can hope for. It's already set in motion. It was prophesied to go into motion, and time's been pushed back at the absolute maximum. We're in quintuple overtime, like I said, and it's breaking loose right now. In the last video I talked about investing in the kingdom of God, and how important it is and stuff like that, because these are the treasures and stuff that will be stored and remembered forever. And many of you that are following or just listening to what I'm talking about and just getting in, you basically become, you're saved and you're ready to go, and you're trying to find that step. And I hear a lot of people ask me, take money. I will not take your money. I told you guys before, I do this for free. I made a deal with God that I would always talk for free about him. It's an honor and a privilege, and I love to do it, especially when I'm in the mood, when I'm feeling it. I love to share that gospel and that hope with people. So I always do it for free. So for those that are trying to give me money, let me encourage you in another idea. Find a way to help somebody else. If you really want to throw that money out, go for it. I think that's great, and this goes right along the lines of what I was talking about in the last video. Help a child or something like that, that's in an impoverished country, and if you can find a group of people or whatever that help, where it helps them through a church organization or missionary work and stuff like that, where they learn about God, do it, because we're doing what we can to spread the gospel, and if you have the means to do it, go right ahead. I just recently, last week, and this is very exciting for me, I've wanted to sponsor a kid for years, and I've never had the money to do it. You guys know my story. It's been very, very difficult. But right now, I am in a situation where I can help out. And it's not much, and it's only one. My little brother's done it for years, and he's helped out kids in different countries. And I always thought that was so cool, and I haven't got to do it. But last year, I went for the commitment, and I'm always worried that I'm going to get into a situation where I won't be able to pay or help the kid out, and I don't want to fail anybody ever. And I made the commitment. I know how close we are and stuff like that, and I absolutely believe God will keep me going right up to the end. And I sponsored a kid and out of Honduras or whatever, and he's like 5 years old, but I'm excited about it. It's pretty cool. So anyways, just an idea. There's always somewhere where you guys can take money and help people out and stuff like that, especially as Christians, like that. And if you want to be a cheerful giver, then go for it. But I'll never ask for your money, nor will I take any of it. It's a free gift to share the gospel with you guys, okay? Not only that, I can't take money because as soon as somebody gives you $5 and they expect you to preach a certain way, and if you don't, and nobody will ever control me, that does not work. You do not get to control me at all, and there's many people that put that in their mind, that if they give money that they can control the outcome of what is preached or what is said. No, my job is to tell you the truth at all times, even if it pisses you off, and nothing can control that. I work for God. So anyways, thank you for the offers, but please don't, because I don't need anybody's money, all right? So anyways, but hopefully there's an idea for you, and maybe that can help you in a way if you want to give or help people and stuff like that. Like I said, there's always some place in the community or something like that, or people that are less fortunate that you might be able to help. And if you want to help, you can help them. And just remember what the Bible says. If you've given even a glass of water to somebody who's thirsty, and for the Lord, he will count that. He remembers, okay? And there's always a way. That's why we show kindness and stuff like that. We are to be the light of the world. So, all right? While the world's falling apart, we can still be the light. It's that stuff that people will remember. And when you are gone and taken and vanish and go to heaven, that they will remember that and wonder why they were taken, and realize that the whole thing was real, and give their life to the Lord. So I mean, that's exciting, and everything that we do is to push in that direction and try and save people and help them out. And there's not much time left. You guys can see it right now. It's very, very close, and I'm very, very excited because I know that it is going to be happening this year. It's not going to hold off any longer. I mean, it's right there, and I expect it to get pretty nasty leading up to it, And God does his last minute thing. He does, but he's always faithful, and he comes through. And even if it's the last night of fall, he'll save you before the morning of the first day of winter. It's difficult sometimes. I know a lot of you guys are in tough spots, and I've been there plenty of times, and I still go through it, but hang in there, because he won't fail you. He will come. He's going to show up, and he's going to save the day, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. And I can't wait to see the joy on everybody's face when they get to experience that. I got to experience it for 15 and 20 seconds. It was the most amazing thing in my entire life, and I've only long for the real thing when it actually happens again, because it was absolutely amazing. I've never felt so much joy in my life. It was really incredible, and it's kept me going on so many times when I didn't want to. I've literally thought about that vision every single day of my life since I had it back in 2014. So it's really amazing. But anyways, I see what's going on. I'm paying attention to everything. We never know when stuff's going to get shut down. You never know when videos could be shut down or grid goes down or anything like that. So what you have is your relationship with God, and you draw on that, and you stay close to it, because you're not saved by anybody else. You're saved with your walk that you have with Him, that you can do on a daily basis. You know, you're reading the Bible, you're talking to Him, you're praying, you're staying humble, you're leading, you're going in the direction that He leads you, and you have that at all times. So if anything ever goes down, you don't worry about it. You continue to walk. All right. Even if information can't come in, you don't know what's going on. You can trust in the Lord, because He's got everything in His hand, and very soon. Within this time that we're in right now, we're going to be out of here. We're going to be taken home. It was never an accident. It was never a falsity that these watchmen that are watching have been told and shown that He's coming back very soon. And it wasn't a mistake that He told me that it was most definitely this year when He did. All right. So be encouraged, because there really is, time's up. Time has been up. And I just want you guys to keep hanging in there. And I know that's very difficult, and you guys have seen a lot and lost a lot of people, but just keep hanging in there, and keep leaving that example, you know, as a Christian, that you're supposed to, because this is the only time that we get, and then when it's done, it's done, and we're just about there right now. So God bless, and I'll catch you next time on the Leash, or I'll see you in the air, and I know that it's going to be really soon. All right, God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.